associated with R&D consulting from the last 3.5 years, taking trainings on almost like the three modules, BW, BY, and HANA. Currently, HANA is recently. Okay. So that's about my technical background. So, okay, so let's get started. So we know that, I hope your today's session is on BW, right? So let me quickly give a quick background about BW, or quick introduction about BW, what exactly it is, what we are doing, and what we are exactly covering in this course. Okay. So first of all, what is SAP BW? Okay. So SAP is a company. BW stands for Business Warehouse. Okay. So that's fine. BW stands for Business Warehouse, but what it is? So it's a data warehousing solution from the vendor SAP. Again, what is a data warehouse? So data warehouse has many parts to it, but I put it very simple. The purpose of a data warehousing is for reporting. So there are many things what we can do with the data warehousing product. For example, planning, data mining, etc. So for now, I'll keep it very simple. The purpose of a data warehousing is reporting. So ultimately, what we want to do is we'll be doing reporting. So what is the purpose of reporting? Analytics. So currently, your client is managing a particular business. So things are going fine, but the client can analyze how the business is going good, which products are doing good, so which region the sales is good, which region it is not good. So definitely they need a report to analyze that. So here in this, using this product, ultimately we are doing analytics reporting. So first let's see what are the versions of BW, and then we'll see what exactly we are doing here, what is the process. Okay. So first we'll see versions of BW. First it started with SAP BAW 2.0. Okay. It stands for Business Information Warehouse. So then came the next major release. I'm just talking about the major releases. It is BW 3.5. So there are enhancements to the product, and the product is renamed from Business Information Warehouse to Business Warehouse. Okay. And then the next major release is SAP PI 7.0. Again, every time there are some new features added, and the product is again renamed here. It is called as Business Intelligence. But soon after this time, after SAP BI7 is released, SAP has acquired a company called Business Objects. I hope all of you must have known that. So again, the Business Objects has its own BI reporting tools. So your Business Intelligence tools. So there is a name conflict between the reporting tools of Business Objects and BW. So that's the reason SAP BI is again renamed to BW. So SAP BW 7.3 is the current version. Now from Service Pack 5, we call it as, it is HANA enabled. That means we can implement BW on, or we can implement BW with HANA as a database. So if you're aware of HANA, HANA is a new product or a new in-memory database from SAP. So from BW 7.3 Service Pack 5, we can implement HANA as a complete database or the complete persistence layer for BW. Okay. So these are the different versions of BW. Now, if you can see, any new implementations will definitely happen on BW 7.3 with HANA or Oracle as a database or any other database. It's not mandated that we have to use HANA as a database. Some of the existing projects will be in 7.0, and very few projects are in 3.5, and I don't think so there are any major projects in 2.0. Okay, so all the clients who has already moved to BA7, or at least they are on 3.5. So as a part of this course, we'll be covering these three versions of BW. The major focus would be on BW 7.3 Service Pack 5. We'll discuss how exactly there is no, or I would say there are very minor difference between these two versions, BW 7.3 and BI 7.0. So there are some changes in 3.5 which we'll discuss midway through the course. Okay, so that's about the different versions of BW. Now let's see what we are basically doing in using this product. Now if you can see my screen, okay, 1 minute, let me share once again. Yeah, so every environment, that means every client's system, you'll have two types of systems. One is OLTP and the next one is OLAP. OLTP stands for Online Transaction Processing System, okay, whereas OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing System. So we have two different types of systems. I'm basically discussing about what is the purpose of BW, why we are going for BW, etc. Okay, so we have an OLTP system, which stands for Online Transaction Processing System. So this is basically a business system where your client's day-to-day business transactions will happen. That means, for example, you want to enroll as a new customer for a bank. So you submit all your details, for example, your name, some address proof, something like that. So the bank personnel will be creating your ID, your account. A bank account will be created for you with an account number and then some details. What is the type of the account, etc. Now there should be some backend system to take care of that, right? So that is a business process, customer enrollment. And again, so you are doing various transactions. You withdraw some money from the ATM, you transfer some funds through internet banking, you buy some shares. So even that is a business process. So there should be backend system which should be taking care of that. So any system which is handling the client's day-to-day business process, that is an OLTP system. For example, a retail company. So every month, I mean, sorry, not utilities company. Let's say, for example, Reliant Energy. It's an electricity distribution company. Now, at the end of the month, the customer in billing has to be done. Invoice has to be sent. So there should be a billing software. Now, consider Lodestar. So that is a OLTP system. Now, the customer has to pay the bill. He may choose various options through web or telephone. So he call up the call and IVR system and automatically pay the bill payment. So that is a business process. So that is an OLTP system. So irrespective of the technology, whichever is the system handling the client's day-to-day business process, that is an OLTP system. So every time a business process happens, the data is generated, right? So for example, you are performing a transaction. So there should be that, that particular data should be recorded in the system. So that means the data is generated there. So you have your data in the OLTP, which is basically handling your client's day-to-day business process. Again, you will have a separate system that is called OLAP. OLAP stands for Online Analytical Processing System, and this system is purely for analysis, for your analytics. So what does OLAP stands for? Online Analytical Processing System. So this system is purely for your reporting. As the name itself says, it's an analytical processing system. So the data, the business data which you have in the OLTP, now you have to generate some meaningful information from it. So that is your analytics, your reporting. So now, so basically we have an OLTP system purely meant for your business process. We are using OLAP for your analytics or for your reporting. Now the question here is, okay, when we already have OLTP system, why can't we do the analytics there? Why do you need to have a separate system called OLAP for reporting? That's right, right? So if we are saying we have an SAP ECC, for example, which is handling the client's, I mean, business process, why can't we do the same reporting there? If the data is already there, why can't we do the reporting? Why do you need a separate system? So let's see the features of a data warehouse. Okay. So if you are from the data warehousing background, maybe these all things are basics, what would have learned through of your experience. But for the sake of others who are new to DW data warehousing, let me give a quick introduction. So basically, now see generic requirements for reporting or for analytics. The end user wants to analyze the total revenue for the last 5 years. The end user wants to analyze the European sales by partner number. That means what is the sales generated by each partner. And then again, if the partner is having various divisions, so drill down into the division level. And then you want to compare the sales of this month with the same month last year. So what is basically it is, it's some kind of an analytical report. Okay. So whereas if we come to the first step, the user wants to analyze last 5 years of data, historical reporting. So do we have 5 years of data in the OLTP? No. Why? Because typically you don't store more than 1 to 1.5 years of data in the OLTP. Reason? I mean, as the data volume will be increasing, if you store beyond 1.5 year, the performance of your OLTP system will go down. So basically, after 1 to 1.5 years the historical data will be archived in the OLTP. So now, if I want to build a report which is using 5 years of data, you don't have a choice in OLTP, but warehouse, data warehouse or OLAP system, as the name itself says, data warehouse, it's meant for storage. We store typically 2 to 7 years of data in a warehouse. Now, 7 years of data, that means it's not that beyond 7 years we can't store, but you don't really require so much of historical data. Okay. So historical reporting can be only possible with the OLAP system or a data warehousing system. The next one is, first basically we'll talk about how it got started. It started just to decrease the burden on source system. So we have an OLTP system which is handling clients' day-to-day business process. And again, if you're running reports on the same system, what will happen? The burden on the OLTP will be increasing. Let's say, for example, you call up the customer care to place some order, and at the same time, multiple users are running their reports. What will happen? The system will be waiting for resources. So your order processing may take time. So your system will not be quickly responding to your business transactions. Would you be happy to wait, let's say, for example, 10 minutes to place an order or 15 minutes? You'll not be really comfortable, right? So the OLTP system should be in such a way that it quickly responds to your business transactions. So they thought, okay, people thought, okay, let's separate OLTP for business transactions purely, and then we'll have a separate system for reporting. So that's how the concept of OLAP or data warehousing started. So basically, it decreases the burden on the OLTP system. So if you have any questions, you can please feel free to stop me. You can you can unmute and ask me, or you can ping me in the chat room. Okay. So the next feature of a data warehouse is efficient query processing. The way how we store the data in a warehouse is completely different. Or when we specifically talk about BW, we store the data in a multi-dimensional structure called InfoCube. So what is a multi-dimensional structure? We'll talk later, but So we store the data in special structures which are efficient for your query processing. That means you get a lot of query performance. Let's say, for example, I want to run a report on 1 million records. So if the same report is running on top of in the OLTP on same 1 million records, which where the data is there in a normal table, if the OLTP system is taking like something like 15 minutes, the same report with 1 million records underlying in a InfoCube in BW will take less than 5 minutes or less than 3 minutes. So such is a huge performance difference between the query processing in OLTP and OLAP. Reason? The system itself is built for reporting. It's meant to handle huge amount of data. The technical architecture of the InfoCube is built in such a way that it is good for reporting. Okay. So the multi-dimensional structure, the multi-dimensional star schema, extended star schema will make sure that you get a lot of query performance. So the system is built for efficient query processing. The next feature of a data warehousing is flexible reporting and independence from IT. Okay. Now, building a report in a warehouse, in BW, or in fact, most of the reporting tools, to build a simple to medium complex report is less than a minute. So not really, not much of the coding is involved. So let's say, for example, the underlying backend structures in the BW are built. Building a report is very easy. It's simple drag and drop. Whereas now, if you want to build a same report in an OLTP system, so it has to be done using some coding. So, but here there is no coding to build a report. A simple drag and drop for simple to medium complex reports. Now, end user need not depend on IT every time to build the report. So independence from IT. So this is a major advantage for the business reason. So let's say we don't have a kind of reporting system where we can easily build the reports. What is the generic process? The business will raise the requirement. It comes to a IT team. They work on functional document and then create a technical document, goes for approval, and then the build will start, then to quality, then to production. So meanwhile, when all this process completed, the user may run out of even the requirement. So there is a latency between, the requirement, business requirement and the delivery from the IT. But when it comes to, a warehouse or any reporting solution, now the end user can themselves create a simple to medium complex reports without depending on IT. It's a simple drag and drop. So for super users, you give this access to directly build the reports in the production. So basically, you are just pulling the data, right? You are not modifying anything. So even in production, you can build your reports, and that access will be given for the super users. So basically, what we are doing, the dependency on the IT team is reduced in a big way. Okay. So flexible reporting and independence from IT. So the next major feature is centralized repository. For enterprise reporting. It means, let's say, for example, I have multiple OLTP systems. Consider I have an SAP ECC, okay, which is an OLTP system which is handling MM module and MM application area, finance application area, and sales application area. Likewise, I have a third-party billing software, Lodestar, okay, and I have a customer care or an IVR system. Okay, so it's very common that in any client's enterprise or any client's landscape, there will be multiple OLTP systems. But now I have a report for which the data is coming from multiple systems. So some of the data is coming from IVR, some data coming from the SAP OLTP ECC, and some from the billing software Lodestar. Now, how do you build this report? So basically, what you have to do, so you have to build some 1 minute. Now, in order to build this report, so what do we need to do is first we have to get the data into one temporary system. So either bring it from IVR and load star to SAP or anything. So bring the data to one temporary system and then build the report on top of it. So it involves a lot of customization. All these are different technologies. So new interfaces has to be built. Lot of customization. So whenever you see customization, it involves a lot of time, money, and also prone to error free. Sorry, you see a lot of errors, right? So during customization. But if you have everything in standard way, it will be minimized. So whenever you have a BW or any warehouse, so what we do is, so irrespective of you have a number of OLTP systems, you will have a single warehouse system. For example, in our case BW, you load the data into BW from all of these OLTP systems. Most of the interfaces are standard. Now, whatever is your reporting requirement, you will have a single point of contact that is for BW. So BW will act like a centralized repository for your enterprise reporting needs. Okay. Single version of truth. So the complete information is there in your BW for your enterprise reporting. So it's called centralized repository. Now, this is the last feature, which is a defining feature for SAP BW when it comes to other data warehousing products. It's called business content. Okay. So what does exactly it means? It means pre-delivered content from SAP. Okay, I repeat. So business content is a defining factor for SAP BW when compared to the other data warehousing products. It means pre-delivered content. So whenever you are implementing a BW project, you are not implementing BW right from scratch. Most of the system is already pre-built by SAP. What SAP did is, now with its vast experience, they have already built some of the most common reports. If you see, every client will have some common reports, some FI reports or MM reports. So every client will be using some of the generic reports. So those all reporting is already built and they will come as a part of your system installation. Now what is the advantage? A lot of time and money is saved, right? So quick implementation with less number of resources. Now if you see, SAP is in the ERP market with 68% of the market share. Okay, so SAP has a 68% of market share. It's actually increased more than that in ERP space. Any client who has implemented SAP as an ECC system will definitely go for SAP BW as a reporting solution. Reason? Because of the business content, because they are from the same vendor, so same interfaces, same technology. And now with HANA as the database for BW, you get tremendous query performance. So in-memory data processing, the power of in-memory database of HANA can be now leveraged for BW. So this is the reason why you get good demands for SAP BW, because most of the Fortune 500 clients have implemented SAP ECC. So these are the features of a warehouse, why we need an OLAP system when we already have an OLTP. Let me quickly summarize this. So why we go for a data warehousing is basically how it started to decrease the burden on the source system. So you don't put additional burden by running the reports. Let's have a separate system for reporting. The next thing is historical reporting. You don't have historical data in the OLTP, so your data warehouse system will be good for historical reporting. The only choice, I would say. Efficient query processing. So your query performance will be good when compared to the OLTP systems. Flexible reporting. Independence from IT, simple drag and drop, you can build your reports. Centralized repository, enterprise reporting. So a number of OLTP systems, you will have a single BW or a warehouse system which you can contact for your reporting. And pre-delivered content from SAP. Okay. So now we understand that we have an OLTP where the data is there. So you are enrolling as a customer, you are doing various transactions, the billing is done, you pay your bill. So every time the data is generated in the OLTP system. So on the same data you have to do the reporting, but where you have the data and where you're doing the reporting, we have the data in the OLTP, but now you're doing the reporting in the OLAP. So for this, what we have to do is extract the data from OLTP, okay, transform, convert into a reporting flexible format. Let's say, so you have multiple OLTP systems. In each OLTP system, the data format may be different. So before you load it, homogenize it, convert it into a single unified format, cleanse it. If you have any junk data, cleanse it. You want to apply some business transformations. So all that will be part of your transformation. Convert into a reporting flexible format, and then finally load to OLAP. So what we're doing here, extract from the OLTP, data transformation, and then finally you're loading it to OLAP system. So what is this process? ETL. Now once the ETL process is done, then comes the data modeling. So where you have to store the data, what should be the architecture of that particular info cube or that structure. So you do that as a part of the data modeling. Once the data modeling is done, then comes the reporting part. Okay. SAP BW is a single solution which takes care of all these three things: extraction, modeling, and reporting. Can be done using single tools. Okay. As a part of this course, we'll be covering all the three aspects of BW: ETL, modeling, and reporting. Now again, if you are aware, so SAP BW has reporting, but now most of the clients are implementing business objects as reporting tools on top of BW. So question here, when we already have BW reporting in BW, why we have to go for business objects? So it has reporting. The major reporting tools are BEX, Business Explorer, which is for analytical reporting, Report Designer for formatted reports, and Web Application Designer for dashboards. So here the BEX is a strong player